Hey fellow YouTubers, how's it going? Yeah, I know it's been another few months since my last video, but as always I've managed to get stuff to make up for that. As always, not that much stuff, but this year, as I've said on my Facebook, which you can check, this year's going to be where I'm going to focus on building my NES library. I'm sure I've managed to get about 18 games so far during the ones I've got now. When I first started with the NES games, I managed to pull out a list, type it up, print it out, and now I can mark off any of the games that I've got and see what ones I've got to get left. It's unfortunately still over 300 games, which, bloody hell, it's going to be one hell of a challenge. But you know, for my first choice of game collecting, I guess the NES was the best way to go, since it was my favourite console apart from the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive. I'm pretty sure the Mega Drive has quite a lot more, as I've seen on other YouTubers' videos. There's one I know called Marcus, I believe, and he's pretty much near finished his PAL collection, so good on you, mate. And no doubt you manage to find the rest of them soon, and good luck. Now, I won't be doing this in any particular order, but there'll be a mixture of games and some anime and, well, mess, you could say. But I guess we'll rather just get right to it. We'll start with anime first, let's say, because these are the ones that are on top of the tower, you could say, tower of games. So the first one, which I'm happy with, is Tales of the Abyss, the how would you say it, limited edition version, which is pretty cool because it came with volume 1 of the DVD set. It's pretty smart. I've watched it, it's pretty awesome. And what was really cool was with the limited edition, you get volume 1 of the manga, which doesn't, you could say that it doesn't follow the basics, the base storyline. It follows it in the eyes of another character, which I thought was pretty smart. Then usually listen to the story from the game, from the 3DS game and obviously PS2, or the anime itself. Now the manga is to do with In the Eyes of Ash the Bloody, which, spoiler alert, is the real version of crap, what's his name? Luke from Fabra. God, I absolutely love Tales of the Abyss, but I can't remember some of the story. God, go me. Anyway, next on the list is, oh, it's going to fall. That is Naruto Unleashed. They were quite cheap on Amazon, so I thought, why not? I always liked the Naruto series, and I've always wanted to get the collection, or the entire series set, and because of that, for under £10 I managed to get volume 2 as well, and for only £3 I managed to get the Shippuden movie. Not exactly the greatest cover, would you say? Wish it could have done a lot better with the art. Damn it. Right, now that's all the anime DVDs I've managed to get. Let's move on to the games. Okay, now this one I was well chuffed with. That's thanks to a guy called Craig Faultless from a store down south called Retro Station. I managed to do a deal with them, trade some games and get something back, and what I got was well worth it. I'll show you now. What I got was the American SNES. When I had a look at it from top to bottom, it is mint condition. Even the cables and the controller. The controller's not the official one, but a third party, but it looks exactly like the original and it still works absolutely fine. So cheers, Craig. Definitely chuffed with this. Right, now for the next couple of games we have, I got these in Cash Generator quite a while back, and for only 50p each, so bargain, even if I won't play them. First one is World Class Leaderboard, and pretty much a golf game, that's all I can say. The graphics look okay, but not something I'll be playing anytime soon, sadly. Next one is a game called Rampart. I'm not sure what to make of it, but the gameplay looks a little bit like Advance Wars, just building up your defences and such. It's like a bird's eye view, but you can't expect much graphics in that from the Master System, or the NES for that matter, because obviously there wasn't enough processing power, whatever you could say. Last one for the Master System is World Soccer. Now, I'm not a fan of football, or most sports for that matter, really, but it's just football, really. That's it. Just football. Oh, I almost fell down. Right, for the Nintendo Wii, yeah, managed to get Guilty Gear Core, which is pretty cool. I've always liked the traditional anime styled fighting games, which kind of like BlazBlue. There's one called Melty Blood. I don't think that's never been released here. I don't know if it's been out in America, but I know it came out in Japan, obviously. But put this in here. But yes, since I'm on that subject, managed to get for the PS3 Arcana Heart Limited Edition. Pretty heavy. Came with pretty cool stuff. Came with an art book showing artwork for the characters themselves and some of their special moves. Also came with character cards. They look like oh, how could you say it? Postcards, small postcards, which also tell you the powers of the Arcana and the character you'll choose to go with them. Got for a good deal, and I've not had any faults with it. It's a pretty good game, just really hard to play online. Right, so that's that. But yes, since we were talking about the getting Guilty Gear for the Wii, I guess I can show you now. I bought a Wii. Haven't had one for a long time, at least a year. And I've had Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Tales of Symphonia Dawn of a New World sitting on the shelf for quite a long time. I've never managed to play it. I played my brother's one, my little brother's one, but I'm always afraid that he'll delete the data, so I didn't see the point. So in doing so, bought my own one, and for a pretty good deal too. I think it was only 60 quid, and all the wrappers and the cables were still tied up, so pretty happy with that. It was pretty much mint condition for a pre-owned console. Now, I thought this was funny. Just digging around, tidying the place up. You always manage to find something when you're digging around in your room. And strangely enough, I managed to find an instruction booklet, which happened to be Golden Axe for the Mega Drive. Now, I remember the reason that I couldn't put this in the box itself is because it happened to be the Mega Games 2. And the problem with that was that 3 games in one box means 3 instruction manuals, and as I'll show you, Streets of Rage is already in there, and no, you can't really see it from there. There's Revenge of Shinobi sitting at the bottom, and there's absolutely no way I could fit the other instruction booklet in here. It wouldn't fit, and also wouldn't the game box itself wouldn't close. So I think I'll need to keep this extra safe, so I'll put this somewhere, but it'll be out of harm's way. Now, oh, there's another Wii game here. No. Right, here's another Wii game. Super Mario Galaxy 2. I've always loved the Mario Galaxy games, although to be honest, I did prefer the first one than this one, most just because it was the original, and I preferred sorry, I preferred the Super Mario Galaxy 1 soundtrack more than this one, which, if you look on my Facebook, I managed to get the standard edition of the Mario Galaxy soundtrack of Club Nintendo for, I think it was 4,800 points. I was pretty happy with that, and I managed to I listened to it over and over again. So that was cool. Right, moving on to NES. Right, these ones I just got recently from Games World bodmin, Adam Bates. Cheers, mate. Got them for a pretty good deal. Really cheap, surprisingly, and they're pretty much mint condition. There is one game that's got the top of the name, the top of the cartridge, the title. It's a little off, but hey, with games that old, you'd expect that. But it doesn't ruin the condition of the game, you could say. But one I was happy with, I got boxed, and I'll show you now. That is Marble Madness. Now I remember playing this on an emulator, and I always like the simple puzzle games, and this one was definitely one of my favourites. So as soon as I seen it for quite a good price, even if the the box is tattered, as you can see, that's expected, it's managed to keep itself in good nick. Right, next game. So that's pretty good. That is mint condition, absolutely happy with. Not boxed, but well, who cares? If I had all boxed games, I would never have any space in my room, so this will do. And that is Super Mario 2. As we all know now, if you've watched AVGN, it's just a rip-off of another game that was made in Japan. But to be honest, it's still Mario. It's got Mario in it, Peach, Luigi, Toad, and I still think it's pretty cool for a small adventure game, eh? Next NES is a weird game I found called Wrath of the Black Manta. I'd never heard of it before, but the moment I'd seen it on bodmins site, it just had a cool name. So I thought, I haven't tried it yet, but I'll give it a go and see what it's like. But as I'm building up a NES library, I'll need to get it anyway, even if it's bad or good. Next one is Turbo Racing. I always think the racing games on the NES and such, all the old ones are more fun. I think it's pretty smart. So I haven't got much to say about that one really. I haven't played it. And if you've watched AVGN, and trust me, yeah, Top Gun. Yes, it's horrible. But as I said, you love it or hate it, and either way, if you're building up the library, you have to get it. Now, oh, here we go. There's one for the SNES as well. This one, basically, when I got the American SNES, I had to at least get a game to play it myself. But for only 12 quid, pretty good nick. And that is Super Star Wars. I've looked inside, it's still got the plastic wrapping for the cartridge itself, even I never noticed this one thing. Hang on, I'll show you. There's one thing different about the PAL version of the SNES and games in this one. Apart from obviously you could tell it's a big rectangle, but I've noticed this as well. It came with a protective sleeve, which you never got with the PAL games, and I don't know if you got it with the Japanese Super Famicom games as well. But it's pretty smart. It really protects the dust getting in from the cartridges, and the game itself is mint condition. Pretty cool. Yeah, I'll put this back in here. But it has the wrapper as well to keep it protected. It's not protected. I didn't put it in there now because I've already tested it and I forgot to. If I can get it safely back in without damaging anything. Should be able to put this back in here properly. There we go. Now I'll put this down here. Now I've got things that are also cool. For Club Nintendo there was something I was wanting. It was the Legend of Zelda Link gold statue, but you need to spend about 15,000 gold star points. But just think the amount of the only way to get that amount in so little time is to make a brand new account, and only also if you have the codes for when you had the original DS and backwards, like the GameCube and all those games. Unless you have that, there's absolutely no chance you're going to get it anytime soon. So after about 2 years of saving up, I was still nowhere near the mark. So I just thought I'd give up. There was no chance I was going to get it. So I looked through the catalogue and found something quite smart. It was a Super Mario figure that had all the characters on it, and it was only 7,000 points, half of what was pretty much asking for the statue. Now I had that amount, and I thought, well, why not? It's a figure, it'll go on my glass shelf most likely. And I bought it, they sent it out, and it arrived a couple of weeks later. 4 or 8 to be exact. And I thought it was just going to be in a simple little case to put away. But no, they actually did a good job, and I'll show you now. It was actually put in a Mario question block case. If you look on the back, you see Super Mario there. I thought it was really smart, and obviously when you open it up, it's even better, which I'll do just now to show you. Just fell down there. I want to keep that box safe. Here we go. Right, now here's the figure you get for it. I think it's absolutely wicked. If you can't really get a good look of it, then if you go to the link to my Facebook, I've got a picture of it up there, and you can get a better look of it from that. But yes, I was really happy with this. And definitely one of my most favoured buys from the Club Nintendo. But if I put this safely back away without damaging the box, if I can get it back in. There we go. Put this down here. Now these are the last things. They're not games or anime games. These are actually, straight enough, game guides. Now these ones I found in a box, just hiding away. I completely forgot about them, but since I've got the Wii and Twilight Princess, this will help. As you can see, that's the Zelda game guide. Now it came with a poster, which I think is pretty awesome. It's quite big. I've just not got no space to put it in now. Put this down here. Next one is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, one of my most favoured Grand Theft Auto games. I do think the new ones are okay, but the PS2 ones were still the better ones, like Vice City and this one. Next one of my favourite fighting games, is Soul Calibur 2. I wanted to try and get the GameCube one mainly because it has Link, but this has pretty cool artwork just for the fighting game. I need to try and get that somewhere. Last thing, of course, was Kingdom Hearts. I've always loved all the Kingdom Hearts games, always and always will do. But yeah, that's all. That's all the games I've managed to get so far since the last video. I know it's not much, but as I said, this year's going to be dedicated to getting lots of old games, building up the NES library, and most likely if I find a shop that has an old retro game, I'll buy it, and if I don't like it, maybe someone will want it more and do a trading deal. Anyway, thanks for watching guys, and it's good to be back, and I'll see you around.